breaking crucial details of the death sentence that's been given to Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh. This was quite expected for last many weeks. Awami League had been campaigning. In fact, for the last 1 week, they have been holding protests all across Dhaka and many cities across Bangladesh, saying that these are pro-democracy protests and we are against the tyranny, against the authoritative approach of Muhammad Yunus, who is not a democratic leader, who's not been elected and has not been ordering elections. A few days ago, he did say that next year in February there will be elections, but on a day when Sheikh Hasina gave an exclusive interview to NDTV saying that Muhammad Yunus has links with radical groups, with terror alignment, and of course, he is having cabinet members with radical thought process as well. Now we are seeing Sheikh Hasina being convicted to death sentence. Not only that, she's being shown as the chief architect of violence and the firing that happened against the students and the protesters last year between July and August 2024. It's a massive development coming at an hour when Sheikh Hasina has been speaking out, breaking her silence for the first time. Also important to mention that Sheikh Hasina is in New Delhi. She has been has taken shelter from 5th August 2024 in New Delhi, and now the ICT tribunal giving her a death sentence. Of course, for her physically, this does not mean much because she has refuge in India. She's very much safe. She has security 24/7. So there is no, legal process that will take place after this. But at this particular moment, even as we give, updates on the latest development that we are hearing on Dhaka, joining us exclusively here on NDTV is Muhammad Ali Arafat, the former Information and Broadcasting Minister of the Sheikh Hasina cabinet. This is the first official reaction that we are getting from a senior Awami League leader. Mr. Arafat, thank you very much for joining us here on NDTV Live. You heard the verdict out there from the ICT. Yes. Does it surprise you? What is your first reaction on this?
See, this does not surprise us at all because it is we knew this is what is going to be the outcome, and this guilty verdict against Sheikh Hasina basically was a foregone conclusion. It was predetermined. We knew this is how it is going to happen. Everything that you saw today in the court, including the judgment, the judges, the prosecution team, and also the defense lawyer appointed by the state, it's just everything is scripted. They're only playing their role. They're staging a drama, and we knew that it was going to happen because the entire proceedings was fully controlled by Yunus and his administration.
Right.
And the whole tribunal was constituted by the Jamaat-e-Islami people. Mm-hmm. This tribunal was constituted basically to try the war criminals who committed war crime in 1971. Mm-hmm. And those who defended those war criminals, they are now sitting in the prosecution. And so this is absolutely a joke. This is what they're doing. It's a sham. It's a farce trial that they're doing.
All right, first reaction coming in from Awami League senior leader, former Information and Broadcasting Minister of Bangladesh, Muhammad Ali Arafat, confirming that this is a sham trial. There are radicals of Jamaat-e-Islami who are involved and it's a joke. Mr. Arafat, if I can come back to you, what is the future course of action that the Awami League and Sheikh Hasina will take on this entire matter? Because she's in Delhi, many of your top leaders are outside Bangladesh. How would you, try to restore democracy or perhaps in this particular case challenge this legally?
Okay, it's a very, very good question. Basically, this particular component of this legal proceedings, that International Crimes Tribunal, is part of the whole package. What is the whole package? The country has gone to the hands of the jihadist, the extremist, and the anti-liberation forces. And Yunus is heading them. So what you have to do is we have to defeat the whole entire group politically with the help of the people. And once we defeat them, then only we can bring back the democracy and empower the people and bring back the rule of law and everything. So this thing by itself, independently, we have no reason to, face with or do anything about this International Crimes Tribunal. This is just part of the whole deal.
Right. Something very important that Sheikh Hasina said just a few hours ago ahead of this big verdict that is coming in, giving death sentence to her. She told me just a few hours ago, Mr. Arafat, that Muhammad Yunus has links with radical groups. She said that he's aligned with some kind of terror groups. She also said that there are members of a cabinet with radical thought process. Are you saying, you're alleging that Jamaat-e-Islami is involved in this? Are you fearing that Bangladesh increasingly is going in the hands of the radicals and terrorists, perhaps having links outside Bangladesh as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. Jamaat-e-Islami basically has infiltrated into the administration. They have captured it. They are the one, they have seized the power. They are the one constituted and dominated the entire judicial process and everything in the crime tribunal, the International Crimes Tribunal. So the verdict that you saw today, that basically preceded the trial, right? So this is how they're approaching to it. And they're creating some kind of narrative and staging some drama and showing it off to the whole world as if they're, doing reforms and, trying to try Sheikh Hasina for some kind of crime she committed, all kind of stuff. But to its core, it is basically they're trying to radicalize the whole system and basically turning the country, Bangladesh, into an East Pakistan. And you see the dominance of the jihadists, they're everywhere. And they are linked with the international terrorist group as well. A few days back, even the American embassy received some threats. And then Yunus had to increase the protection for that embassy, security and all that, yes. So Yunus, he does not have any political, the organization. He doesn't have any popular support. He does not have any mandate whatsoever. But for him to continue to grab his power, as long as he can, he needs some support, and that support he is deriving from these jihadist Islamist forces. This is what he is doing.
All right, Mr. Arafat, also, please make us understand that what happens to Awami League, because, it's been banned completely by Muhammad Yunus. It is his way or the highway that's happening here. He has announced election in Feb next year. He's saying that elections will happen side by side with the referendum. Do you believe in these elections? Do you think that Awami League will get an opportunity to fight at all in these elections? Do you think these elections will at all have any kind of an opposition or a free and fair system for people to vote?
No, Yunus is going ahead with a rigged election. Again, this is going to be another drama of election to show off to the whole world that as if they're going for election, but the outcome is pre-decided. They're basically distributing the seats in the parliament, who's going to get what. And they're blocking Awami League, not only Awami League, also Jatiya Party and all the other 14-party alliances out of the electoral process. All the parties which are progressive, pro-71, they just want to cut them off from the political process. So this is what they're planning to do. So the thing is, Awami League has more than 20 million active members. It's the largest party, oldest party in the country. Awami League is the reason why Bangladesh has come into being. This is the party that led the nation to independence. It has more than 30 million supporters. With this large number of people, the active members and the supporters, if you want to suppress this group, there will be a natural ramification of this suppression. Even we don't have to do it. I mean, some people might say that, we have to go for some kind of organized and coordinated political programs and activities. I understand, we'll do that. But even if you don't do anything, there are people from all walks of life. They are aligned with the spirit of 1971, a secular modern Bangladesh, something that Awami League holds. So there will be a repercussion in every sphere, in every part of the society. So there will be a backlash of what Yunus is doing with the jihadist and extremist. It didn't work out in 1971. And it's not going to work out now.
Right. Mr. Arafat, stay with us. Even as we inform our viewers, the big development coming at this hour from Dhaka, where Muhammad Yunus has pushed the trial of the ICT, and the ICT tribunal has given a death sentence to Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, who has taken refuge since 5th August last year here in New Delhi. She spoke exclusively to me here on NDTV just a few hours ago, in which she said that she was very pained by leaving her country, but accused Muhammad Yunus of being an authoritative leader and authoritarian, and of course someone who has links with radicals as well. Mr. Arafat, the former information minister of Bangladesh, senior leader of the Awami League, also joins us continuously on first reactions from the Awami League on this entire development. Mr. Arafat, Dhaka police has given shoot and sight orders even as Awami League has been protesting. In fact, the crowd also reached earlier in the day at 32 Dhanamundi again to ransack the entire place. How do you see? Is this the frustration or the desperation of the Muhammad Yunus government? Do you fear that the attacks against the Awami League leadership and perhaps even minorities could increase?
Yes, I mean, this is their approach. It has been there since August 5th. I mean, they're creating mobs. They're going in and attacking people who they are opposed to. They're invading into their houses, they're breaking into their offices, ransacking it, beating them up, killing them, and those kind of things. I mean, they're trying to create a climate of fear so that nobody protests, nobody fight back. And this is the strategy they're applying, but it's not going to work eventually because people are going to fight back.
Right, people are going to fight back. That's what you're saying. You're saying there are millions of Awami League protesters down on ground who are frustrated with the kind of non-democratic leadership that they have at this point in time, and the elections that have been announced are a sham. But also, Sheikh Hasina told me earlier in the day that Americans seem to have been impressed by the economic prowess and the economic thinking of Mohammed Yunus, but they mistook that for his political prowess. Is that right? Is that what you think? And what would be your message after this particular verdict to the American, the Trump administration and the global community who are watching developments in Dhaka very, very closely?
Well, Yunus and all of his associates, those who belong to the so-called civil society and got funded by the Western, foreign aid program. And all those foreign aid programs are not charity. They do it to advance their foreign policy and all that. And just so you know, who are the recipients of those foreign aids in Bangladesh, they opened up some kind of NGOs and they try to lecture on democracy, on rule of law, human rights and all that. But who they are actually serving the purpose for. And now it is all clear. In the last 15 months, it has been absolutely evident that everything that Yunus used to say with regard to democracy, free and fair election, or rule of law, or human rights, he's acted exactly opposite to everything, and it's all there, right in front of us. So his words and his actions is totally different, and he has been exposed. Not only him, all of his associates, those who used to lecture on all those catchwords and fancy words and all that, they have been exposed. When it comes to performance, whether it's economy or democracy or anything, or politics or anything whatsoever, this is how they behave.
All right, the Sheikh Hasina trial has ended in Bangladesh. The Awami League says continuously that they were not given ample time, ample representation. This was a complete one-sided trial that happened inside the Dhaka court. We'll try to get our reporters on this big development, but Muhammad Ali Arafat joins us completely. Mr. Arafat, I would request you to join us and continue to join us for a few minutes. We are going quickly to Saurabh, who is tracking this very, very closely. Saurabh, what are you picking up on this entire trial? You've been observing and monitoring Bangladesh very, very closely. A massive trial, really, but also a bigger verdict. Is this a messaging that Mohammed Yunus is doing ahead of the elections?
Well, the messaging is very clear that Bangladesh has, of course, taken a turn towards radicalism. Attacks on minorities have happened. There have been some claims, and those claims have been denied by the Yunus government. But it's true that, even today, there is a question over the Ahmadiyas. So all of these things are now a part of the reality. And then you have the Pakistani establishment visiting Bangladesh. You have their top officers, military officers. You have Pakistani clerics all coming to Bangladesh. So what Sheikh Hasina has said and what Mr. Arafat also has said is somewhat reflected also in how things have been playing out in the ground, which is, of course, that there has been a turn towards radicalism. The Jamaat-e-Islami Bangladesh, which was banned under the Sheikh Hasina regime, and also, groups like the HUT, Hizbullah Tahrir, these are groups that on ground in Bangladesh have been in the past banned for terror incidents. And this is something that, again, after Yunus came to power, those bans have been reversed. And, the Jamaat today, the election commission has revoked the suspension, and therefore it can also contest elections. Earlier also it could, but then it was banned because of the terror incident. So that is where Bangladesh is. And the larger messaging is that, for example, see what's playing out since the morning. 32 Dhanmondi, which again, in your interview, which Sheikh Hasina mentioned, is a very clear symbol of Bangladesh's freedom movement. It's the ancestral home of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Sheikh Hasina's father, the founding father of Bangladesh. But it's also a symbol of Bangladesh's independence, Bangladesh's liberation struggle from the Pakistanis who created, who unleashed untold atrocities on women, on children, rapes, murders, all of that.
Right.
And of course, that's something that happened. And today there are people with bulldozers waiting to sort of bring down 32 Dhanmondi.
Well, absolutely shocking visuals of those bulldozers at the 32 Dhanmondi and the clashes that have happened continuously in Dhaka ahead of this big verdict. But the big development coming at this hour that we are breaking here on NDTV, Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, has been convicted with death sentence. Of course, she continues to be in New Delhi. She has taken refuge ever since 5th August 2024 here in India's national capital. Mr. Mohammad Ali Arafat continues to join us, the former minister in Sheikh Hasina's cabinet. Mr. Arafat, this verdict also reminds me of the WikiLeaks in a way. I am sure you would have gone through that. Many years ago on WikiLeaks, it came out that Muhammad Yunus met American diplomats and said, while answering a question by a US diplomat whether he wants to be a prime minister, Muhammad Yunus said that yes, of course, but for that we will have to make sure that these two ladies, Begum Zia and Sheikh Hasina, are ousted, are sent out of the country. So is that the plan that has been there always? Yunus had ambition to take over Bangladesh and he did not want democracy to prevail?
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I mean, this man, he is a very greedy man. He's more like a con man. What he says, what he means, and what he has deep inside his heart is absolutely different. He's full of malice inside his heart, and I think it's okay to be ambitious, to try to become the prime minister of a country, but that should be done through a due process, a democratic process. But he knows that he's incapable of doing that. He doesn't have any popular support. He can't even become a member in an union or a councillor in a ward. He doesn't have this kind of a popular support. So he always opted for unfair means and an illegal way to grab the power and get to the center of power, and by bypassing the democracy. So that has always been his intention, and he tried it before. He made many attempts, and that was failed. And this time around, he kind of got succeeded. And now he's trying to extend it with the help of the jihadist and the extremist, as long as he can.
All right, it's a big development coming from Dhaka, where we are witnessing Sheikh Hasina being convicted to death sentence, and reactions pouring in. Our reporters from Dhaka to New Delhi keeping a very close watch on this. But Saurabh and Mohammad Ali Arafat, I'll request you to stay with us. Even as we stay on this breaking news, it's time to take a quick break and we'll return to this story. All right, we are staying with the breaking news coverage here on NDTV. The big development coming from Dhaka, where former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has been convicted to death sentence by the ICT tribunal. Even as we track these developments from Dhaka to New Delhi, we have multiple reporters and reactions coming in from Awami League. In fact, we have reporters joining us live right now. That's what I'm being told from Dhaka. Bartin Biplab and Ripon Tanbirul Miraj joining us live from Dhaka, even as Saurabh and Mohammad Ali Arafat continue to join us. Bartin, if I can come to you on the latest on the developments coming in from Dhaka, what are you picking up? What did the court really say, the ICT tribunal, while giving the death sentence? What were the causes? What was the reasoning really given? And how did the base of the argument really be there for death sentence? What exactly were the charges against Sheikh Hasina? Bartin, if you can hear me, I'll come back to you. I think there's some technical snag, but I think Ripon continues to join us. Ripon, the same question to you. What are you picking up on what the court said? What were the charges against Sheikh Hasina? What was she blamed for such a brutal verdict against her?
This is really big questions, and I can't explain this in a very brief and very shortly. But I can say that what Sheikh Hasina done with the Bangladeshi people during the July uprising movement, that was a crime against humanity, and Sheikh Hasina found guilt for that cases. So the court today announced the death penalty to the Sheikh Hasina for the reasons of what she did and what she done against the people of Bangladesh.
All right, that's what we are picking up last on this entire development. I think Bartin will also join us in a bit from now, but the latest coming in from Dhaka is about the big, massive verdict that will have repercussions for sure, diplomatically and geopolitically. Sheikh Hasina, who's in New Delhi, who's stranded in New Delhi, has taken refuge in New Delhi, has been convicted to death sentence. Mohammad Ali Arafat, the senior leader of Awami League and the former minister in Sheikh Hasina's cabinet, continues to join us live. Mr. Arafat, as we have discussed threadbare, the developments that have been coming in, what's the latest that you see? Will there be a statement issued by the former Prime Minister? What strategically will be the course of action taken by Awami League? Because it's a huge challenge for you to work. The entire system seems to be against Awami League in Bangladesh right now.
Yes, I mean, she will definitely issue a statement, as far as I know, and it will come out. But as I told you, this verdict or this ICT by itself is just one of the components of the whole thing. So basically, the country has gone to the hands of these anti-liberation forces and to the hands of the jihadists. We have to get it back, and politically, we have to, mobilize the people and fight for it and get it back. And another thing I want you to note that
Right.
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, in many of her statements, and also in the interviews, she clearly said that she wouldn't mind facing all of these charges in the international court, in ICC. But she also said that Yunus is never going to do that because they know they cannot control the proceedings of those international courts, right? So all those charges are absolutely false against her. And even today, I heard some of the judgment when the judge was reading. Absolutely false. They said like Sheikh Hasina ordered the execution, ordered the killing of the protesters. Absolutely false. Because they're student protesters. We're the one talking to them. With their students and the leaders, we're talking to them. We're sitting down with them. Why would she tell them to go? I mean, the law enforcement agency go and kill them. But we know that there were some infiltrators, there are some jihadists.
Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, who's saying that this is a political motivated verdict that's coming in. This is the first reaction from the top Awami League leader and the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, saying that this is a politically motivated verdict that's coming from the ICT. This is the first reaction coming in from the top leader of the Awami League, the former Prime Minister, who has been stranded in New Delhi for last more than a year. Of course, developments happening thick and fast. We have more developments coming in the form of two more, accused in this particular case. I can tell you, of the remaining two accused, the then Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan was also convicted to death, and the then Inspector General Chowdhury Abdullah Al-Mamun has been sentenced to 5 years of imprisonment. But the big development coming in this hour, breaking here on NDTV, the first reaction from Sheikh Hasina that this is a politically motivated trial. We'll wait for a detailed statement later in the day from Awami League and others.